welcome back. Well, the presidency has reacted to the controversy surrounding President Muhammadu Buhari's comments, where he said he was said to have criticized the youths in the country at the Commonwealth Business Forum in Westminster, the United Kingdom. Reacting to the controversy, the president's spokesman, Femi Adesina, in a statement said that typical of their stock in trade, manipulators and twisters of statements of Mr. President who lie in the waiting are just there to make mischief, interpreted the comments to mean that Mr. President had taken all Nigerian youths to the cleaners. But elementary English, he says, recognizes a wide gulf between a lot of and the word all. How can a lot of them suddenly transmogrify to mean all of them is what he's asking? Mischievous and unconstitutional, perhaps. Senator Ayo Arisha is still with me, and Bishop Amakri, the National Chairman, Youth Progressive Party, the YPP, in our Abuja studios. Comrade, let me begin with you on this one. Would you say this easily passes for an unguarded statement, but is it truly when the president, in context, explained how youth thought of the Commonwealth, which is oil in this instance, and want a whole lot of things, including healthcare, education, housing, made free? What do you think?
Yeah, Gimba, before I go further, let me correct. It's Young Progressive Party, not Youth Progressive Party.
My apologies.
Thank you. Back to the bombardment of the Mr. President on youth. I totally take exception of that. Because if in this world or in this country that we have visiting one of the most influential entrepreneurs in the world, Mark Zuckerberg, visiting Nigeria, identifying with the youth, and indeed describing the Nigerian youth as one of the most dynamic, innovative, and very competent young people. So I continue to wonder how the #1 citizen of this country will make such comment against Nigerian youth, whom all of us know that are very, very dynamic, innovative, if given the opportunity. And this is one of the, questions that we must continue to ask, that is begging for an answer. Each time the father of the nation goes out of this country, he continues to demarcate Nigeria. And I think
because is that really demarketing? Would you say, if I have to throw this to Senator Arisha, is this demarketing Nigeria? What do you think of Mr. President's comments?
Well, it's part of our problem in this country. We shy away from the fact. We have a number of situations in this country. We have kidnapping. And I was a victim, and I didn't see anybody that could qualify as an old man there. And we've had the menace of Boko Haram from the northeast. And we had the issues of people breaking pipelines and doing all this manner of stuff. If the president says a lot, it does not mean that all the youth, my understanding of English language, if I begin to say that there are a lot of jobless people on the street, it's a statement of fact in this country. We all know these things. But when we try to make politics out of everything, there can be a lot of twisting. And by the time we start saying that the president says all Nigerian youth, I don't think that is fair in commentary and in reality. If a person that is the father of the nation feels like some youth are not working hard enough, and some believe that the government must provide everything. And these are statements of fact. But it does not take away from the fact that there are so many youths that are fantastic in this country, that they are very innovative. You can see the Nollywood, you can see the number of successes that were, recorded there.
If you say, my apologies to just butt in there. My apologies to just butt in. If you say it's a statement of fact, you also may be facing something very similar. I don't know when, but maybe pretty sooner than later, because recently you declared your intentions to contest the governorship seat in Ekiti State. Do you get the sense that the youth will be asking you or having the same approach when you elaborate on what needs to be done to get the youth engaged even more?
Yes, I have. Part of my manifesto is to focus seriously on the problem of unemployment. Some of these youths that we have identified to be not up and doing, we will provide the enabling environment, improve on the space of industrialization, focus on agriculture, get people to start being very productive. Part of what I'm looking at is to ensure that we encourage the youth through training and let them understand. I mean, for example, apart from when I went to the Senate, I've been a private person from after my youth service. So I don't know what is wrong with a person being industrious. So for us, you look at the like of Dangote, all the big names in this country, many of them have gone to work for the government. So for us, we need to encourage our youth. We need to provide the enabling environment for them to prosper. You see, when we say as a matter of fact, when you provide in some states, there are people who still turn and say, we don't want to do it.
What would you say?
Us, we must constantly speak to our youth, encourage them, and let them be innovative, be very creative. And once we provide that environment for them,
would you say that's the message by Mr. President? My apologies.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's the message, your stance? Will that be the message Mr. President is trying to pass across? Of course, we know that there is no free lunch, even in Freetown.
Yes, I think that is a statement of fact too. Even in Freetown, there's no free lunch. Everybody needs to contribute. When you look at, there are expectations. And that is why sometimes I want to do very angry with the people that have been stealing our money. Because if you steal money that is supposed to be used for roads, for industrialization, for rail lines, how do we get the kids or the youth, how do we get them employed? And if you give a contract, some people will not do it, they pocket the money, how would the country improve? So the message of no free lunch is that, yes, we expect to, even when you prosper, you must pay something back to the government. So we're encouraging our youth to be very, very up and doing, very enterprising, and so they will contribute to society. Then they can demand from the government more, vociferously that, look, I'm paying my taxes, I don't have roads, I provide my own generating set, I do all manner of stuff. It's only here. So, and this is as a result of the neglect of the past. So if we're not saying, what the president
I'm afraid
is saying,
that we'll have to go at this point.
Yeah.
I must thank you both for your time. Senator Ayo Arise, Ekiti State governorship aspirant and an APC chieftain, and Bishop Amakiri, the national chairman, Young Progressive Party, YPP. I do thank both of you for coming on the show. I am Gimba Umar, and thank you also for being part of the show. And this is State of the Nation. Bye for now.